It's really gotten dark out here quick. Storm rolling in. No outdoors videos today. I just wanted to show this real quick for my last video. I went back and got that deer, reindeer guy. I got this Petster. Those are actually worth some good money, but I knew at the time that when the packaging gets destroyed, it gets a lot less valuable. But that thing by itself still holds some value, even for parts. Anyways, getting wet was a major bummer. I went back, I got this motor. I got the candy pan for that scale. I went back, I got this truck. It turned out not to be a Tonka. Check it out. It's a Nylint Jumbo. But went back and got that. Anyways, I just wanted to show that. A lot of people were making comments about I didn't take this and this, but I went back and got it. And the Petster. Let's go. Let's go for the walk. Huh? Let's go before we get rained on. So this is a good time to make this video. I've been wanting to make this video anyways. So today, if that train will be quiet, that's a good time to do it. It looks like it's about to start pouring out here. Get the doggo walk before that happens. Then we don't have to walk in the rain. Of course, it might be too windy to make a video. This, I've touched on this a few times in my videos, and this is the faucet control of my bathtub. You may be saying, why is he showing us that? You see that flower-like symbol in the middle there? That's a good representation. I'm trying to stay out of the wind. That's a good representation of how I dumpster dive. I'm gonna go inside here in a minute after I walk the dog, and I'll put this on the big board and show it to you. But like, this is a good spot to stay out of the wind, so let's see if I can whiz that in there. Maybe. This is a little unorthodox, but say the center is your house or your storage unit or your apartment, whatever, wherever you bring stuff back to. And say on the end of this pedal is the post office, and the end of this pedal is Walmart, and the end of this pedal is your buddy's house. End of this pedal might be a family member's house. End of this pedal might be another Walmart. End of this pedal might be another post office. This might be where you go to eat. This one might be something else. These are the locations around your area where you frequently go. And when you're just out running your errands and living your normal day life, if you dumpster dive while you're doing that, you'll find these little routes. And so this pedal represents all the little routes that I would run. See that? Now, in real life, they're not that pretty. They're gonna be squiggly and squirrely and twisty, but that's a perfect representation. I'm gonna put it in the big board here in a minute. Come on, let's go. But as you can see in my videos, I constantly find really good stuff, and it's no coincidence. I mean, I've been doing this for a long time, and that's just the way to do it. I mean, you're not taking special trips or nothing, you know. So if it takes you $5 in gas to go somewhere, well, you also dumpster dive the entire time. You know what I mean? It's like doing it gas free almost. If a dog has went to the bathroom when I wasn't looking, I'm gonna go inside and I'm gonna further explain this. I'm not only gonna explain the single flower here, I'm gonna explain the bouquet of flowers diagram. And let's go inside now before it starts raining too hard. It's starting to sprinkle now. Come on, man. Come on, here she goes. Here she goes. There she goes. There she goes. I'm glad I stood up just in the nick of time. So like I already explained with my awesome bathtub graphic, that might be where you live, center of the flower. And then say you gotta go over here to Walmart, and there's all these dumpsters all throughout all over the place. All over your city where you live. I mean, these dots aren't even anything. There's thousands if you live in a decent sized place. Let's just imagine all these dumpsters. Okay, say this over here is Walmart. So you go to Walmart and you just run your route and you just hit all these little routes were developed when you start looking for dumpsters. They're just all over the place. And you go to Walmart and you come back out, you hit this and this one. And there's a lot more out there. I'm just doing this for visual aid. And then the post office, say, is over here. And you gotta go to the post office. Go hit this one, hit this one. Maybe you swing out here or something, you know. You're at the post office. Now you come home from the post office. So there's your petal, 2 petals. So in real life, they're not gonna really look like a flower, but that's pretty much it, you know. And then say over here is some other place you go often. Maybe that's where you work or something. And so you go and you hit all these dumpsters on the way to work. And then coming home from work, you hit all these dumpsters here. So now you got 3 routes taking up a big chunk of your city. And like I say, there's 100 times more dumpsters than these dots represent. You will be amazed if you start looking for dumpsters, how many are really out there. And some will be honey holes, and some will be dead, and you'll figure out that pretty quick. Although with illegal dumping, any dumpster has possibilities. Okay, so you can do this in a car or a truck, you know, the places where you frequent a lot. Whatever place this might be for you. You go out here, hit this, come home. See how that's working? Maybe there's another place over here, another post office or something, different part of town, what have you, whatever it may be. See how it is. And then there's another place over here. Whatever it is, you go out there, hit all these dumpsters, come back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's 6 different ones right there. And I mean, there might be a dozen, 20 of them. I don't know. I don't know where you go, but you do. And there it is. You just pretty much covered your little part of the world. You could learn. You could almost figure out where every single dumpster is for the most part. Okay, so that can be done in a car or a truck. That can be done in any vehicle, just where you're running errands around town. But the way I do it is, okay, so this is, say where I live. And say I have a storage unit over here somewhere. I just want to go out and I just want to dumpster dive all day long. I'm not running errands this time. Say I got a storage unit over here, and so there's all these dumpsters still. I mean, they're all over the place. I mean, these dumpsters, they're just all over the place. Just use your imagination. So I'm gonna head out and do some dumpster diving in this other part of town, way over here. See, way out here on the outskirts now. And I got this storage unit. I fill up. Of course, I'm on a 2-wheeler. I do it and I drop it off at my storage unit. I go back out, run this other little route and come back, drop it off, go back out way over here now. Come back, drop it off. Got another little route way over here. See how that's working? Another one here. Another one there. Of course, there's all the dumpsters, but I think you understand that by now. What are you doing, Grizz? Watch out for wild grizzes. Grizz, stop. Grizz, go away. Go away. Go away. Okay, so this is where you live. You have maybe a storage unit over here or something. Say there's Say there's a scrapyard way over here in this other part of town, and say you leave in the morning and you go out, you want to hit the scrapyard over here and you hit all these dumpsters. Then you're at the scrapyard, drop off your stuff, get paid, and then you go out over here, way out here in this other part of town, run this route, come back to the scrapyard, drop it off, get paid, come back out, run this other route way over here. See how that's working? Get paid, come back out, run this other route over here. And a lot of these routes will start interacting with each other, and you can run routes differently, and once you know where they're all at, and you can switch them up and run part of this one with part of that one. And it's gonna be a little different for everybody where they live, but and then run this route here, and then way out here on the outskirts of town now. There we go. And there's another route here, look at it. So you can see these psychedelic little flowers starting to form where you live. Storage unit, scrapyard. Wait a second, maybe there's another scrapyard over here, another part of town. I'll go over there one day. There's all these dumpsters, of course. All these dumpsters just all over the place. So you go out and you're gonna work this part of town now. Go out here, run this little route. Back to the scrapyard, drop it off, get paid, come back out, run this little route. Scrapyard, get paid, come back out, run this route down over here. See how that's working. Get paid. Another little route here. Part of that route there. There it is. Scrapyard, storage unit, scrapyard, where you live. Maybe you want to get another storage unit over here in this part of town or something. Or maybe there's another scrapyard over here, you know, who knows. Scrapyards usually will be fairly well spread out. Let me add all these hundreds and thousands of dumpsters all over the place. Apartment buildings, small businesses, I mean, dumpsters are all over, as long as you're not in a place where there's a city ordinance against it. And you may run into people that don't want you on their property, and just respect that and leave. Don't ever argue with anybody. Always be polite and friendly and leave. You may find lots of contacts with people that you might find sweet contacts for scrap metal and stuff, you know. Let's see. So now you're over here, this part of town. Get this place. I don't know if we decided it's a scrapyard or a storage center yet, but you come back, drop it off, go back out, run this route here. Drop it off, come back out, run this little route over here. I'm off the screen, aren't I? We're covering so much ground now, I can't even fit it in the camera. Run this out, come back out, run this route here. Come back, another route in here, look at it. Okay, so if this whole big white piece of paper is your whole civilization area around you on the map, you have just literally covered the whole thing. Although there's kind of a vacant area in here, a bit of a no man's land going on. I suppose you could incorporate that in here with one of these guys like this, maybe. Anyways, so we got 5 central locations, looking like the middle of flowers. And then what if I put some stalks on those things like this? Is that starting to look like a bouquet of flowers? So like the first one you can do basically in any vehicle, running your errands around town, of course, because you come back to where you live. These other ones, if you're in a car or a truck, you really don't have a lot of reason to run routes and come back to the same place, because you can carry a lot of stuff, particularly in a truck. So you might just go out and run the whole thing and then come back once, you know. But the thing about a two-wheeler is you can cover at least three times as much ground, maybe 4 or 5 times as much ground as you can. As far as covering ground, two-wheelers doing this specific activity of looking in dumpsters, It's just, there is nothing better. There's no better way to do it. But if you don't want to do that, you can just go with the single flower method and have all your little routes out, you know, like I showed, like I've explained a couple times now. But there's a little bug crawling right there on my flower. Must be a healthy flower if it's got a bug crawling on it. Okay, so that's it. If you really wanted to get into this, it's not a bad idea to have a storage center in a different part of town. I mean, you're gonna work out your own little systems for different types of deals and whatnot. Lots of cities are laid out differently and stuff, but having a storage center, you know, a long ways away, 8, 9, 10 miles away from where you live, is a good idea, regardless of what kind of vehicle you have. You know, like if you live here and you only have one scrapyard that's over here, maybe you want to rent out a storage center in the vicinity of that scrapyard, because you know, if you're way over here and you're picking up scrap, it doesn't make a lot of sense to haul the scrap if the scrapyard's closed after hours. It doesn't make much sense to haul the scrap all the way back 10 miles to your house and all the way back 10 miles to the scrapyard. You know what I mean? Even though I think this was our storage center, but now it's our scrapyard. And this is our storage center. So if you're over here and you got hookups and find a scrap, you can just drop it off at your storage center and then just take the little trip into the scrapyard. But I mean, it's gonna be different for different people. There is no set thing, but I'm just giving you an idea. As you can see, the whole town has been literally covered. You know, there's gonna be department stores, national chain stores, apartment buildings, small businesses, schools. Just, I mean, every place is basically gonna have a dumpster. And you will be surprised at some of the stuff that is out there in the most unlikely spots. I estimate that we put about $1 trillion a year into our dumpsters. This is basically $1 trillion industry that nobody knows about because they can't see it. See what I mean? You can't see that $1 trillion industry out there, can you? It's there. I assure you it's there. And there goes one of my cats. I estimate the Goodwill, if they're all like the ones where I live, they're putting maybe $150 million of scrap metal in their dumpster. The Goodwill alone. The problem is you can't get to all of it. That's why my two-wheeler is the best bet that I know of, because you can just simply cover massive amounts of ground. Now you may have to skip the refrigerator and the washer and dryer and the stove, but skipping that big bulky lightweight tin is perfectly acceptable when you go out and you can find a $100 laptop. You know, $100 laptop is worth so much more than that big bulky tin. But anyways, I don't really want to get into that. Anyways, this is the $1 trillion industry that nobody can see. With that being said, there are landfills and landfill companies. They're going to sort out some materials. They're going to recover some materials out of that trillion. But, you know, when I say $1 trillion industry, I'm just talking about the stuff that we throw away, intentionally discard, you know, into the garbage. And at this point in time, that becomes fair game when it's in the public domain to anyone. Like I say, if someone tells you to leave, never disagree. Just immediately get in your vehicle and leave as fast as possible, and always be friendly, no matter what the case is. And you shouldn't have much trouble. You will want to check out your local ordinances and stuff, of course, so you don't get a ticket. I feel like I'm forgetting to say something, but I guess it's time to say I hope you enjoyed this video, and as always, thanks for watching. I remembered what I was forgetting to say. riding a two-wheeler on the streets with cars is extremely dangerous, and I really can't recommend anybody to do that. This is more an explanation of what I do, and for those of you that already own a car or a truck, that running routes while you're doing your errands and going to your family member's house and your friend's house and grocery store and post office and whatever places, that very first original flower I showed you actually could encompass, you know, most of your city, because I don't know where you're going. You might go 30 miles away, you know, I don't know what you're doing. But that's what I would recommend for most people. Driving two-wheelers on the streets with cars is dangerous, so I can't recommend it. Be careful out there.